What's going on, everybody, man? It's your boy Tez and Too Deep, man. I am introducing you to a brand new show, a brand new idea that we thought about, and we're gonna make this thing work. It's called Artists to Know. Artists to Know is going to feature independent artists from our area, and we're gonna interview them and get to know them a little bit more, and they're gonna tell you why they are the artists to know at the end. But right now, this segment is now being featured right now at Leaf and Cedar. Look, cigars and stuff all around. Might have to take me a little few pop. You know what I'm saying? So we can make that thing work. But that's what it is, man. Thank you so much. Enjoy the interviews. If you have anything else, if you need us, then make sure you follow me at Tez Too Deep on all social media. Love you. You gotta know you're great, no matter what these people gonna say. You better know your worth. You can't stop even if it's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Hola, is you gon' get up? Okay, you fed up. Man, put your head up. Yeah, I stay prayed up. We are sinners. It's okay. I know you better. Ooh, you know you better.
What's going on, everybody, man? It's your boy Tez and Too Deep. I'm sitting right here with the Artists to Know, man. Okay, listen. We wanted to do something incredible for the artists, the independent artists around our area, man, the Kentucky area, or anywhere possible. But we want to let you know about the artists that we have here right now. It goes by the name of Giovani, man.
That's right.
What's going on, Giovani? How you doing?
I'm in the building, man. Like, I'm good. I'm good.
Just chilling, man. Hey, listen, man. I appreciate you taking your time out and being here with us today, man. It's something new, something fresh we wanted to do for the independent artists. So we just gonna ask you some questions, man.
Absolutely.
Tez and Too Deep, you know me.
Yeah, we're family. It's family. We're in the family right here.
You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna spend a little family time. We're gonna talk about your artistry. We're gonna talk about little things about you in general, and hopefully the people just kind of tune in and get more information about you, man. You cool with that?
I'm always cool with that. Well, I go by the name of Giovani. Some people call me Gio. That's cool too. But my artist name is Giovani. Previously known as Gio El Futuro. So now I am Giovani, and I'm a Latin urban Christian artist. So kind of the same thing as Gio El Futuro, except the message just changed. But you can still bop, you can still vibe. It's got all the Gio-ness in all the music still. So
yeah, that's absolutely true too. Because I'm a big fan of Giovani.
So appreciate it. There we go.
I know firsthand. So you already said it, man. You actually dived into what I wanted to talk about at first. So now, when I met you, you had that certain swag, and you had this presence, this stage presence. Your music was really vibing, and I was like, dude, I definitely would love for you to be a part of Iron Royalty and be a part of the music affiliation group. So we met and we talked, and I kind of knew your story and things like that.
Yep.
So we moved on, and you was doing your thing, man. You was winning awards and doing a whole bunch of stuff, man. And it was absolutely an exciting time to be you at that moment.
Yes.
So my question really is, what was the reason for the transition into the Christian music? Because I see it on your Instagram now. You got Christian on there, like y'all gotta know
it's official.
Yeah, that's the message right now.
Yeah.
What was what was the mindset between transitioning into that Christian urban Latin artist?
It was a combination of a lot of things. I've always considered myself a Christian. I've had a relationship with God for a long time. I grew up in a Catholic church, but I kind of left that when I got a little bit older. But I still had that relationship with God. And eventually, like you said, Gio El Futuro there was a lot of really cool stuff happening. There was, I think I've shared on a few interviews, so this isn't, anything new, but we almost got signed, man. Like it was to that point. And just little by little, I think God was showing me that he had a different plan. I don't want to say it was, I don't take anything for granted that I did with music as Gio El Futuro when I was doing secular music. Little things like I don't know if we've talked about this, but one of the first things that kind of, it was a little sign. There was a lot of big signs, there was a lot of little stuff too. One of the little signs was my kids learning my music. So I mean, as a secular artist, I never I didn't go too deep into, a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Sorry,
you see the plug.
I had to do that. Always.
I didn't go too deep on, certain type of content. I wasn't cursing that much. I wasn't, but a lot of my songs were, we can talk about, we're grown, it was sexual content. Like, it was a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And at the time, my kid was like 3 years old. They started talking, and music was all my music, listening to it all the time. And then, they're like rapping back the lyrics to like Triple X and like like stuff like that. And I'm like, it was just a lot of little things where I was just like, what am I doing? What am I, and one thing that I was kind of, that I always had in the back of my head was, just because this is my journey, it doesn't mean that I look down on other artists who don't follow the exact same thing. It's just me. This is just what me and God had to talk about. What I'm saying? Wow. So in no way, I'm saying all that to say, I'm still cool with all the artists that I was cool with before. Yep. There's no judgment. There's none of that. Mm-hmm. So it was little things like that. And then the big stuff started happening where I wasn't feeling the, I don't know, my passion was changing with music itself, like everything about music. So it got to the point where I was doing shows almost every single weekend. And that was a lot. Like, I was just like, let's say I make it, right? Let's say I quote unquote make it. And whatever, we get signed, whatever make it means. But let's just say, for this example, I get signed, and I was just like, am I willing to do this like every single weekend plus more, and lose that much time? I was losing time with my family, man. Like, I was, even though shows were at night, the kids are sleeping or whatever. Let's say I performed Friday night and Saturday night. I can tell you 100% Saturday during the morning and like Sunday during the day, like I'm out because I'm tired. Like, what I'm saying? Like, and I'm getting older. So I mean, like, I was just like, I just started to look at stuff, and I was just like, why am I, and then why am I doing it? Like, why am I truly doing it? Like, I've always loved music. I've always loved performing. I love performing. I've loved, just spreading my music and everything that goes along with that. I love recording. So I still have passion for music itself. It was all the other stuff that was coming along with it that I was just slowly, it just didn't look attractive to me in that space. So then the first thing that happened where I kind of, took a dive was, my dad was kind of going through the same thing.
Yeah, what's so special about your dad?
Yeah, so we've always been, I've always been involved with music since I was a little kid, that ended up being we have like a family like salsa band, you know what I'm saying, and same kind of story. Like, there's a lot of really cool stuff that was happening with that band, and then he out of nowhere was like, guys, I'm out. Like, I'm done with the band. And on top of that, he was like, Gio, you're taking over. Like, it's your band now. Like, as far as music, my brother was kind of owning like the business side of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he was like, you're taking over. This is gonna be your thing. And I was just like, what is going on? Like, why are we doing this? Like, we were booking shows too all the time for festivals and stuff. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah. And
when I sat down and talked to him, he was like, I can't explain it, but I'm just gonna start doing Christian music. Like, just flat out, I'm just gonna do Christian music. And I was, of course I was supportive, but in the back of my head, I was like, man, what a dummy. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, we're doing it. We were doing a lot of stuff. I was like, what? This don't make sense. Yeah. And I remember one time he was like, so my dad has never written music. It's all like cover stuff, and his dad he was like a poet. Like, this guy used to write all kinds of stuff. And one night he was like, hey man, I need you to come over. Like, I just want to chop it up, and I want to show you this song. I was like, all right, cool, whatever, it's cool. And we all go over there. My brother's there, Daddy Ed's there, I brought the kids, everybody's there, right? He was like, hey, can everybody come to the basement? I want to show you guys a song or whatever. I was like, what is going on, man? And at first I'm like, immediately. Like a lot of people, I was just like, here we go with the Christian stuff, man. Like, gosh, bro, I'm not trying to hear this right now. Like, it was like after dinner and stuff.
Yeah,
I was like, man, what is going on? And all of what, he sang a cover of a Christian song. And it was a salsa song though. So I was like, and then I fell in love with like how passionate it was for him. Like this was like more satisfying than anything I've ever seen him do with music on this one song. And all he did was like learn the song. Yeah. And like, I mean, dude was like crying. Like at the end of it, I was like, wow, like music has never had that as much stuff as I've done with music. And whatever, got recognition, awards and all this stuff. I've never had that. Like I've never had moment. That actual like deep of a feeling when it comes to music. So I went home that night super just inspired. Like I was just like, you know what? I was like, what if I wrote, I remember talking to my wife on the way home and I was like, what if I wrote a Christian song? Like, what would you say if I just like one song, just one Christian song? And she was like, I mean, I'm not gonna like look at you any different. That's, you have a relationship with God. You should, if you feel like you should do that, you should do it. I went home, bruh. I remember writing a chorus and I called my dad. I was like, hey, what do you think about this chorus? He was like, you doing a Christian song? And I was like, yeah, I just want to try it. Like, I'm not making any promises. This might not even come out. I'm just like doing it. And I showed him, it was just the chorus, I think at first. And then he was like, man, this is great. I love it. He was like, what I really like about it is it still sounds like you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So this beat, I remember I almost trashed this beat. It was like a dance hall type of, beat. And there was a producer from, so La Spada, shout out to La Spada.
Shout out to La.
Yes, part of Iron Royalty as well. And we worked on a song together called Best Friend. Yeah. Dope song. I still love that song. Not a Christian song, but I love it. It's a dope song.
Yeah, it is.
I remember asking her, because that was like a dance hall type of track. And I remember asking her who produced it. And this dude was, he was like overseas, just like, I think he was like a teenager at the time, something like that. Young dude, just like producing. And the producer, once the song dropped, contacted me and was like, man, I really love what you did on La Spada's song. We should work together. And I was like, man, I'm always taking beats from whoever, and I love collabing like that. And I remember he sent me a few beats, and the one beat that I was like, I'm gonna trash this. Like, it was a dope beat, but I just didn't hear myself on that. Yep. Not somehow, I know what it was. It was God working stuff out. The song that I was writing, or the beat that I was writing to, was that beat that I was going to trash.
Did you use this song?
I used this song, so check this out though. Okay. Check this out. I started writing the verse. The verse was coming out, great or whatever. And every step of the way, I'm showing my dad. He's like, man, I love this. I love this so much, blah, blah, blah. And then after a while, I was like, if you love it so much, get on the song with me. And if you get on the song with me, I promise you, this is what I'll do. And he never pushed it on me. He never even asked me like, are you going to be a Christian artist? He was just like, just in the background, just supporting. And I was like, I'll tell you what. I was like, if you record the song with me, I will push the song as if I was pushing my own single. Like, put marketing dollars behind it, do a video, all the works, everything, whole 9 yards. And he was like, yeah, okay. He was like, I'm down. I brought him to the studio, killed the verse, like absolutely killed it. And I was like, wow, right? And we both felt that that feeling. It's very hard to explain, but I never felt closer to music than I did with that first song. That was the first Christian song that I ever wrote. That wasn't too long ago. That was 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, something like that. And we pushed the song, and of course, again, I truly think it was just part of God's plan. Everybody loved it. Yep. Everybody loved the fact that my dad was in the video. It just all worked out. And I just, little by little, I started to really fall in love with what that was and what that feeling was. And then one day, I remember it was the Latin Music Awards that year. I dropped that song. We did the promotion with it and everything. Then the Latin Music Awards happened. And on that night, so a couple weeks before that, I started telling myself, like, man, I really feel like I should just do this. Like, you know, screw what everybody else is talking about, screw the stuff that we had set up with like record labels or whatever. Forget all that, man. Like, I love this. This is what I'm really starting to love. And I was like, I'm about to just like drop it on everybody at the Latin Music Awards. Yeah. And you know, it's crazy. So I won an award that night.
You did.
I won Best Latin Urban Artist.
Sure did. And
they called me up to stage, and I remember being nervous. Like it takes a lot for me to be nervous on stage now, but like I remember being on stage and I was like, "Hey everybody, just to let y'all know, from now on, I'm gonna be a Christian artist." And everybody's just like. I mean, there was a lot of support, you know, but I can see in people's face, like, what is he doing? Like, what? Yeah. Like, you just won an award.
Did you win, though? Like, didn't you win? Did you win the year before? You was nominated the year before.
No. So that was the first year that the Latin Music Awards happened here in Kentucky. And no, I won that year. The next year after that, so that was 3 years ago. The second year after that, I was nominated for pretty much the same categories. Yeah. And then they added a Christian category. Yeah. I don't want to say that I was, you know, but you know, they added a Christian category the following year, and I didn't win anything the next year. That's okay. And then this last Latin Music Awards, I won Best Latin Christian Artist, man. That's so yeah, I know that was a long answer to say, like, basically a lot of little things and a lot of just really eye-opening moments, bro, that I was just like, it can't be more clear that God's trying to tell me, like, keep your same swag, keep everything the same. Let's use that and just change up the message. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
What I thought was, I can recall back in that moment because, of course, we still had a relationship during that time. Yeah. And I was like, yo, I mean,
there's a lot. I got a lot of calls.
Because I think we had recorded "Call Me" before then.
Yes.
So we had recorded a song called "Call Me" already, right?
Yes.
And then
Bust Down.
Yeah.
We did the
Bust Down.
Phenomenal,
remix.
by the way.
Okay.
Tez killed the verse. That song.
So we did the Bust Down. Okay, y'all hearing me now. We did the Bust Down, Bust Down verse remix for that. Yeah. And then I think what people don't know is, because out of my respect for Gio, he actually did. So I got a song called "Wine for Me."
Oh yes.
Yes.
You know, I still got. Go ahead.
And he did the actual verse. So he did the verse for "Wine for Me." He did a remix to that. But during that time, out of my respect for Gio, I was like, yo, before I even try to release this or say anything, he had just had this moment, and I'm like, yo,
is this still okay?
Is this still good for me to drop this? Because, you know, my song talking about wine for me, right? That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
But yeah, man, and we had a quick conversation about that. And I respected your answer. I think you was just kind of like, I think you said you really didn't care because you had already recorded.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
Yeah. And
my respect was like, yeah, you know what? I'll be all right. You know what I mean? That's be something somebody can ask us about. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll play way.
Yeah.
You know, we in the mansions, man, and we chilling, man. You know what I'm saying?
You remember that one time?
You remember that one time, man.
And for the record, man, there was a lot of so I ran into a lot of that because I sprung it on everybody. I wasn't like,
dude, but I'm gonna tell you, like, you're downplaying the hotness of Gio, Gio. I ain't gonna say it. Yeah, there you go. Like you, you was on fire, bro.
It was.
And when people say, like, when I tell y'all, he was literally doing shows every single weekend. Man. Him, his brother, even his nephew.
Yeah, we started bringing him
on.
I mean,
like, it's just, I'm like, dude, what do they put in the water? Like, how do you get these shows? How do you get so many shows?
Yeah, man.
And the announcement happened. And when I tell you, like, you know, in the independent world, we was just like, yo, okay. I mean, out of respect for you, you know, I don't think anybody necessarily had a problem with it.
No.
I personally feel people were like, yes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good. Let him go over there because now I can have some type of shine. You know what I'm saying? I need to hear some shine. So please let him go over there. But
now we got shows open, man. What we doing?
We got a few shows open, but now, you know, I just respected that, man, just as a man, because I know what family means to you.
Absolutely.
And I know what God means to me, so I can understand that piece. I thought it was beautiful, man. It was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
So, I lead into another question that I had just off the top of my head.
Sure.
It's like, how do you continue, how do you continue to make music? How do you continue to do what you do when you made that switch? And like you were saying, I think you was about to go into it, like what happened immediately when that happened?
So I think now the drive is that same feeling that I had when I first wrote that song. Like it is on that level. Like, so I've always, for people that don't know, my team knows because I'm kind of strict about it, but I record typically by myself. Like, just, I don't want nobody in the room at all. Like, even to the fact where there's very few times I go to J-Tune's studio. Like, it's usually my own studio, just so I just work better that way. But now, bro, like, studio sessions are like, I mean, I hate to kind of put it in this concept, but it's almost like church, man. Like, it's just me and God, and I'm just like completely zoned in on what we're doing. So that feeling always comes back, right? Like that deep passion always come back, and it helps me, right? Like it's almost like that one-on-one time. I have a lot of that one-on-one time for like prayer, or like, so for different things. But when it comes to music, it's like its own thing. Like I'm in there for hours, and it's just it's a full experience. Where in the past I still had that experience. I was very locked in, zoned in. But if I'm being just completely honest, and this is gonna come off, I hope this doesn't come off as like cocky or anything like that. But it's being but it is being truthful. Like I remember back then, doing secular music, I could easily like go into a studio session and knock out like 5-6 songs like this, because it was all talking about just the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, all right, cool. So we're talking about a girl, getting a girl. Got it. All right, cool. 3 songs. Boom. I got 3 ideas that I can just like bam, 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 just knock it out. But now, bro, it's like it's because I still want it to be me. I still do a lot of thinking about like the melody and just the same components of what I used to do. But now it's just deeper, man. It's just like this is my music now is just a reflection of like what me and God were doing in the studio. You know what I'm saying? So that's what keeps it going. That's the drive that keeps it going. I'm doing way less shows now, so I don't have to worry about like, preparing for shows. That time is just more time where I could just like spend with God and just whatever he's gonna push me towards. That's what I'm gonna do.
So here's like a question that just came to mind. So we all know Kanye West, right?
Yeah.
So during this whole time, man, and you made your transition into Christian music.
Yeah.
For some odd reason, Kanye West wanted to make his transition.
It happened around the same time, too, didn't it?
Around the same time, Kanye West is doing the same thing, right? So, shout out to Kanye West if you ever listen. It's crazy if you watch it. But yeah, anyways, so Kanye West kind of made this whole thing, right? So I know he dropped an album. I forgot what the first album was called.
Jesus is King.
Yeah, Jesus is King.
Yep.
Yeah, he had that one before this Donda situation. He had Jesus is King, and that was when he had made his his moment. And was really simultaneously around the same time.
It was, yeah.
So, like, what do you think? Like, as an independent artist, and you see, I would say, commercial, big time, or whatever you want to call it. Mainstream artists. They're doing the same thing at the same time.
Sure.
So, like, what is your feelings about him actually making that transition into Christian music, kind of his whole stint and what's going on with him right now, and how that can even be not necessarily compared to you, but can be compared to you in some kind of way?
Yeah. So another question that I love answering, because there's a few things that I always try to like premise, right, when it comes to, because it's not just Kanye, Justin Bieber kind of did the same thing a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people compare this whole thing to like Chance the Rapper sometimes, because he's looked at as like a Christian. He's a Christian, but he's also a rapper, whatever.
So
So with Kanye, here's my thing, right? Like, I see so many, whatever comments and just like people going in on Kanye. honestly, I see more Christians bashing Kanye than I do the secular, world, giving him grief about a bunch of stuff.
They say, what have you been hearing from the Christians?
Hey, he called it out, didn't he?
They'll be the first one.
They'll be the first one to judge me. Yeah. So, it was crazy because I was like, if we're truly sticking to Christian beliefs and Christian thought and mindset, right? One of the first things that we learn as being Christians is to not judge other people. Here's the other thing that I still to this day don't understand. Fans always I don't know why we do this as like people, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna use America because I don't know how other countries do it. But for some reason, fans feel like artists are like this close. You know what I'm saying? I know Kanye. Mm-hmm. I know Kanye, and I know that this whole thing is like a gimmick, but I'm like, do you really? We don't know Kanye. Mm-hmm. You don't know Kanye. I don't know Kanye. So how?
You would like to know Kanye if you're watching again. Right. If you want it.
Yeah. Right. But I'm saying like even on that level, right? So I thought about myself. So as soon as I saw the Kanye stuff happening, I was like, wow. I was like, man, what if people think about me this way? Yeah. Like, what if people in the back of their head are like, what if this isn't real? Like, what if he's just,
How long is it gonna last?
That's how long? Yeah, how is this? He's just gonna do this for a couple songs or whatever, and then
maybe a couple hours.
Get back to bust down and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But here's my thing: like nobody, the only people who are close enough to me that can attest to whether this is real or not real is probably like my family and like close friends. You know what I'm saying? So with Kanye, I was like, there's a whole gang like bashing the man when none of us are close enough to even make a judgment to say what you're going through is serious and I support it, or what you're going through is BS and it's whatever.
I need you to get some help.
Right. So the other side of that token though is the music itself.
Yeah, it's true.
So I separated the two when the whole thing started happening. I was like, okay, here's Kanye, the person who's going through what seems like an experience. Mm-hmm. If he was any other person that was going through that experience, like if that was somebody at like my church, and they're like, hey man, I'm really getting closer to God or whatever. I'm like, why would my first thing be to bash him on him trying to figure out what this means to him?
Well, that's incredible to think because people do judge you off of the things you did before.
Absolutely.
Your past, your present, and your future. So I think with Kanye West, he's always been outspoken and things like that. But the thing with you is like, to kind of tie this in, the reason why I asked this question is because, you weren't necessarily outspoken, but you was hot, bro. You was on fire. Again, you was on fire. And for you to make that transition and for you to almost be at the table and actually about to get signed, like you were like right there. Yeah, and then literally. You just made that switch. I think that was the Kanye situation was a blessing for you because it was to give you another thing to look at and to say, hey, here's an example of somebody that's on this type of level. You know what I mean? Trying to make that same switch and look at the scrutiny that he's going through. So what I need to do is make sure I reevaluate my decision and make sure I'm going 100,000% to what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So it's kind of the reason why I asked that question. But the last couple things that I did want to ask you, and I think you kind of answered this throughout some of your answers. First of all, what's your motivation, bro? Like what is your motivation? Like what motivates you daily to continue at this grind, to continue at paying your own bills, paying your own marketing money, for videos, everything. Because you are an independent artist and you are an artist 100%. That I think people should know. So what's your motivation? If anybody's watching this, tell them what your motivation is.
Right now, my motivation, music-wise, is, and this might be a cheesy answer or whatever, but is strictly God. Is strictly my relationship with God. Now, saying that, if I tie in, my music and my actual life, like my personal life, here's what's beautiful about this whole thing in the position that I'm in now. When I was doing secular music, it was separated. Like here's my personal life, and here's my music, and I don't want the two to mix, because when I was doing secular music and whether I was doing a bunch of shows, we're family. We're gonna talk. We can talk about this. I'm in environments where really I shouldn't be in. Like I'm a married man. You know what I'm saying? Like
Situation
what am I?
close.
Yeah, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? And now, man, the position that I'm in is beautiful because I get to blend the both.
Yep.
My personal life and my music. So music is a part of my personal life, and it's a part of my spiritual life. It's a part of me going to like church. So like the church that I go to or whatever, I'm a part of the worship team. So it's
awesome.
I'm involved in music there. Like it's all together, man, and it's all under one goal, under one mission, and that is just carrying out whatever God wants me to do. So that's my motivation, both in my personal life and my music now. They all align.
And before we get out of here, there's two things I want you to tell the people about your latest work, what you got coming up next, what can we be looking for, where can we find you, and lastly, answer the question, why are you an artist to know? Why do we need to know who you are?
Okay.
So tell the people all your information, newest single,
Gotcha.
newest video, whatever.
Okay.
And then lastly, why are you the artist?
Yep. So the latest project that I have out right now is a song and a video. It's a song off my latest album, which is Trust. But the single that we're promoting right now is called Dead Man Walking, and it's featuring Vino. I went to high school with this dude, and he went to New York, and he's like blowing up. Shout out to Vino. Dope artist, and he's Korean. So like the collab was dope. Like the whole song is English, Spanish, and Korean. And it's a Christian song.
Fire.
And it's a bop. Like,
Fire.
you know what I'm saying?
Fire, yep.
So that's the latest single that we're promoting right now. My next single is actually the one with my nephew. We literally filmed the music video last night. And that is Nobody Else. It's called Nobody Else. That is also off the Trust album. That is probably going to drop end of November, early December. So be on the lookout for that. And then in the future, I think I'm going to do things a little bit differently.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and kind of give a heads up now. And I don't know when this is going to air, but I'll give a heads up now. We won't go too much into it because I know we're wrapping up. But I might be off social media, period. Like forever type stuff. However, I have consulted with a lot of people about this. Yeah. And obviously people are like, well, what are you gonna do about music? Blah, blah, blah. Listen, we're still trying to figure it out. Okay. So for now, my Instagram is giovani.music. My artist page is just Giovani, spelled with one N, Giovani. All my music is still going to be, no matter what, it's still going to be put out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, all that good stuff. Okay. Just literally search Giovani and it should pop up. But yeah, so things are going to move a little bit differently. I think probably next year. This year, honestly, the goal was like just put out content, just crazy amount of content. Next year, I'm going to slow it down. I want to focus on the music a little bit more. So I'm probably only going to drop like 3 or 4 singles the whole year. Okay. They'll have visuals, they'll have music videos. So for now, you might want to subscribe to the YouTube and make sure you have me on your Spotify and all that stuff, because I might not have social media like at all. Maybe. I'm going to let God handle the next steps of that.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And then, I'm sorry, what was the
last?
So
the last one, to tell the people why
okay.
Artist to know.
I'm an artist to know because if you're sick and tired of like separating, if you've had any kind of relationship with God or not, but you're kind of tired of the stigma or the perception of like, oh, when I listen to Christian music, it needs to be X. It needs to be gospel music. It needs to be Lauren Daigle. It needs to be, whatever. And I can still bop and, get what I actually enjoy hearing in my ears over here with secular music. I'm an artist to know because I can blend both of those.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? Have a good time. Music is supposed to make you feel good.
Yeah.
So you can definitely listen to my music and still have that vibe, you know, still enjoy yourself. And blend the two. You know, if you have a relationship with God, there's a lot of people who have, you know, supported my stuff who don't have a relationship with God, like at all, and can still appreciate the music. And I love that. Obviously my goal is to hopefully get people closer to God. And if it does that, that's great. And if it doesn't, we got some work to do. So.
Yeah, that's it, man.
That's right.
Man, thank you so much, man, for hanging out with us. And we appreciate you so much, man. Continue to keep doing great work. Don't stop. You know what I mean? Whatever you need from me, you already know how it is.
Likewise,
man.
Man.
Just keep that thing moving. So,
absolutely.
Yes, this is Artists to Know, man.
Yes,
I'm your host, Tez Too Deep. We will see y'all next time.
Thank you guys so much for watching that interview. I had a really good time. Tez's family. So shout out to Tez. Shout out to I Am Royalty. We did this interview at Leaf and Cedar, man. So please continue to support Artists to Know. I was this time's Artists to Know, but please keep watching. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful thing. So again, thank y'all so much. God bless and stay up.
Me had to go. Jesus be the gang, so I had to let them know. Green light, go. Green light.